What's up, guys? It's the Actual Justice Warrior here, and today we're going to talk about height. So in previous videos, we've discussed how biological sex and gender are both socially constructed. There is no evidence that men biologically are different than women, and gender, we know that's a social construct because it was in fact socially constructed. We've also talked about obesity and weight, and how statistically this person is just as statistically healthy as this person. So health and weight are also social constructs. Now that we've unlearned our own personal biases as they relate to sex, gender, and weight, we should unlearn our own personal biases when it comes to height. Because height, contrary to what you might have learned in a white supremacist, capitalist, intersectional, hierarchical patriarchy, is not a static fact. It's a social construct. Think about what you perceive as tall. Is it somebody over 6 feet? Is it somebody over 7 feet? Maybe it's somewhere in between. Now, while they might seem tall compared to the average person, what if they were standing next to the Empire State Building? Would they still be considered tall? I don't think so. So in reality, our perception of height is skewed by society and is socially constructed by an oppressive structure. Think about the way that we measure things. Why do we use inches and feet and yards? That's because that is an oppressive structure given to us by the English measuring system. And we all know that England colonized the world and oppresses non-English, non-white, non-gender conforming minorities. So if the measurement of height is constructed by them, we must deconstruct it and realize that height is in fact a social construct. Now let's think about it in another way. Take North Korea. Now a lot of people will point out that the average North Korean height is shorter than the rest of the world. And they blame the fact that their society is more equitable and redistributing wealth than our society, and they say that that is a negative thing. But think about it. If you were 5'9", you might be considered average height or short in the West, but in North Korea, you'd be tall. You'd be almost like a giant. So obviously our perception of height has to be socially constructed. And what about when women wear high heels? Think about it. They're taller, or they are perceived to be taller than they actually are. This is what I'd like to call transmetering. This difference between what a white supremacist, capitalist, intersectional patriarchy would call height and what we're seeing when a woman or a man or a non-binary otherkin is in high heels has to be indicative of how height is socially constructed. And it's evidence of this idea of transmetering or trans tallness or trans shortness. You see, you might be measured by a white supremacist society to be a certain height, but on the inside, you might feel like you're actually tall, and that might be representative by you wearing platform shoes or high heel shoes or wedges. And since you can't use a ruler to measure how tall somebody feels, we must scrap completely the idea of measuring height or measuring anything in reality. I mean, think about it. Height is just a form of ableism or sexism or racism. So we have to unlearn those biases in order to become a more equitable society. So yeah, how tall do you feel? Are you transmetering? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, then please show me by leaving a like. You can follow me on all my social medias here. Subscribe for more content. This has been the Actual Justice Warrior. Until next time.